They are battling for their playoff lives right now. Let's just be honest. They can lock up their playoff spot with a win and some help, but currently on a 2-game losing streak right now. The LA Chargers are not a very good team right now, but they can lock up their playoff spot with a win over the Denver Broncos on Thursday. J.K. Dobbins has been their workhorse for most of the season, but he is now currently on IR with the concussion. So, guys, the question is here is not if the Chargers will even make or lock in their playoff spots. Will they even make the playoffs? Because right now, guys, the Chargers are not a very good team. The Chargers right now are not a very good team. They have lost 3 of their last 4. J.K. Dobbins going down has hurt them a lot. They're not using their running backs to catch the ball, to run the ball. They're just they don't have an offensive identity right now at all. Now, if they do lose this game versus the Broncos, their playoff percentage chance are still at 73% chance to still make the playoffs. They still have a pretty good playoff road. They can still really work their way into the playoffs. But as of right now, if you look at the Chargers' schedule moving forward, their schedule is very, very favorable, but they could very easily drop their next 3 games. They could easily lose to the Broncos, lose to the Patriots at the Patriots, and then lose to the Raiders at the Raiders as well. Because we know the Raiders are tanking for a first overall pick, and we know the Raiders cannot do anything at all, right? So, with that being said, guys, will the Chargers make the playoffs? I think they will ultimately make the playoffs. I think they'll ultimately be a 7th seed. I think they'll ultimately be a first-round exit, an easy win over for the Buffalo Bills. But I just think the Chargers are just not all that in a bag of chips. Many people have them, pretty high on the Chargers, right? When they went on their 4-game winning streak and they won 5 of 6, right? They are top-notch, right? The Saints, Browns, Texans, Bengals, all pretty dominating wins per se. Granted, none of those were playoff teams, but they're still pretty dominating wins. And then they went out and they beat the Falcons 17-13 the following week. But since then, they lost to the Ravens, they lost to the Chiefs, they lost to the Buccaneers. And now they play the Broncos. Very, very real chance that the Chargers could miss the playoffs. Now, the Colts and Bengals and Miami Dolphins are all trying to get there, but it seems like they don't want it. They just seem consistently be losing these dumbass games, and now Tyreek Hill wants out, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But, guys, that is the question. Will the Chargers make the playoffs? I think they will. I think they will. And Caroline says no. No, the Chargers will not make it. Laura says no, the Chargers will not make it. You guys are having no faith in the Chargers at all? Even with the 79% chance to win, make it to the playoffs, even if they lose to the Denver Broncos? Ooh. John says, okay, I'll hear it down for you. What? Gear it down for you. Alpha Rob says the Chargers will make it and get bounced in the wild card game by the Buffalo Bills. You're absolutely right, Alpha Rob. Even if the Chargers do make it, guys, they're not helping their cause for next season. Because when you make the wild card game, you're a 20th pick and up, right? I guess you can go as low as high as 18th, I guess. But guys, the Chargers are not a very good team. I understand earlier this season, right? I had them in the top 10 in the power rankings for a few weeks there. I thought they were doing good. The defense was balling out. They were running the ball. They were passing the ball. They were nickel and diming down the field. They were doing smash mouth, out physical you type of football. But the last 4 weeks, we have not seen that. The last 4 weeks, ever since J.K. Dobbins has gone down, we have not seen that. That defense is injured. Justin Herbert is now injured. They don't have any receivers that can catch the ball. Lad McConkey is their number 1 guy, but he's not catching the ball. Guys, the Chargers are a sinking ship. Let's just be honest. The Chargers are a sinking ship. And it is what it is. Robbie Patterson says, I like Herbert, but I don't see them making the playoffs. I hope Hill goes to the Chargers next year. So Robbie is speaking on the tweet that Tyreek Hill said today, something about said, I'm gone, coach, or put me in, coach, or something to that effect. I don't think Tyreek Hill wants to go to a franchise that does not have a chance at a Super Bowl. And if you guys want to be flat out honest, let's be honest with ourselves. December 18th, 2024 at 9:25 East Coast time right here on Man Hour Live, NFL Talk Live, every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time. Actually, Monday through Saturday, 9 p.m. East Coast time. Do you legitimately think that the Chargers are a playoff or a Super Bowl team next season? Now, granted, we don't have the draft yet. We don't have trade agents or free agents and signings and retirees and all that stuff. But unless there's a complete makeover on the wide receiver core and running back core, guys, the Chargers are just another average team. They are just a team that's just good enough just to make the playoffs. They are good enough just to upset a few teams. Hell, they are 1-3 versus playoff teams so far this season. They're not very good. Big Chop says, I need Herbert to have a great game. Need him for best ball. Listen, as long as Justin Herbert does what he does, right? So Justin Herbert has always had this loom black cloud over him, right? Because when he came into the league, his rookie year, he wasn't even supposed to start. So let's just flash back, 3-4 years ago, right? I believe Tyrod Taylor was the game day week 1 starter for the LA Chargers at this particular point. Justin Herbert, fresh, clean shaved rookie with a nice clean haircut, coming in, hey, I'm a backup, right? Tyrod Taylor gets a shot before the game, and they puncture his lung. He's coughing blood. He's doing this, whatever. He goes to the hospital. He is out. Insert Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert had a hell of a game. He played great in that game. I believe he had like 350 yards, a couple touchdowns, and they won that game. People were already deeming him, crowning him Patrick Mahomes 2.0. Patrick Mahomes this, Patrick Mahomes this. He's the next Patrick Mahomes. And ever since then, he's had to live up or build up to this hype around him and Patrick Mahomes. But honestly, guys, Justin Herbert is a great game manager. If Justin Herbert is able to just go out there and play football, nickel and dime it down the field, scramble when he has to, hand the ball off, and not go out there and win you games, just manage the game, he is a top-tier, top 10 quarterback in the NFL. But the minute you try to start making him pass the ball down the field, push the ball 30, 40, 50 yards down the field, that is Justin Herbert's downfall. He does have a big, strong arm. He can do that, but he does not excel at that. Excuse me. He does not excel at that. He excels at nickel and diamond you, wearing you out. So, not to get off topic there, but he can have a great game, a couple touchdowns and whatever. Casey says Tyreek Hill wants to come back to the Kansas City Chiefs. He should have never left then. But the Chiefs will not won a Super Bowl with Tyreek Hill. So we'll see. Imagine him in Buffalo. Tyreek Hill in Buffalo? Nah. He doesn't like the cold. Casey says, honestly, I can see him as a Raven before starting to play for the Bills. So what do you guys think? Are the Chargers playoff bound? Many of you guys are saying no. Colts are going to win out. Chargers are going to lose out. Bada bing, bada boom. Colts Super Bowl, baby. That's what I'm saying. But